This program contains scenes of violence that, while intended for humor, may offend some and may not be suitable for all ages. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about emulation and playing Nintendo Switch games on the PC. But before that, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody for watching my previous video of Nintendo Donkey Kong Country HD comparison for Nintendo Wii and Switch. That video got over 10,000 likes, and I just wanted to say I really appreciate what you guys done, and that is fantastic. Now the Switch has been around for a long time. Actually, it's been a long time coming, right? And now that all these years went by and everybody grew up playing it, especially from kids and just everybody in general. Now the Switch also have the online multiplayer, and people can play online all the Nintendo games and titles, whether you're in the office or in school, whatever you are, you can just connect to the internet and play them. And also Switch has a ton of new games, from Street Fighter to Zelda to Mario, and a bunch of exclusive games. People bring it to parties, colleges, everywhere. It's just basically a console on the go. And the Switch Lite also is like a mini Game Boy. Anyway, now that it's 2025 and Switch 2 is coming out, we can actually reveal some tools and how to make it run all on your computer in your living room in 4K. Especially the biggest question was if the Switch 2 will be able to play Switch 1 games, and there it is, Nintendo finally announced it. So let's jump into the PC and see what we got here. So as far as the Switch and emulation in general, there's a lot of different consoles you can play. Pretty much everything you can play on PC. And there have been some new emulators, but we're gonna look at three. First is Ryujinx, which was taken down recently by Nintendo, but there's a still version available that you can download, and that's what the main emulator that we're gonna take a look at today, and how to set it up and get it running. There's also a previous emulator that was very popular called Yuzu. It has a little bit different interface, and as you can see, it's quite different. And each emulator reads different games. If you look at the bottom right where the mouse is, it actually reads more games than Ryujinx. It reads 648 games. And then there's also a new version called Sudachi, which is pretty much the same thing as the Yuzu, but it gets new updates. And this emulator can actually see more games. But we're not going to jump into these. There's a couple other ones. We're just going to strictly look at Ryujinx. You can download it on Google. I'll have a description below. When you download and extract it, you want to go to folder right here, Ryujinx folder, and copy and paste these product keys. That will be also linked in the description. Just like that, you open the folder where you extract them and paste them right into the system folder of the emulator. That will give you all the keys to read all the games. You can also update this firmware. It'll also be in the description with the product keys as well. So now let's take a look at some settings. What do I have here? Basically, these are game directories. Wherever you put your games, in which folder or drive you want to add this in, and the games will appear. Input is for your controls. Player 1, player 2, player 3, you can have up to 6 players. And underneath input device is for your controller. Right here I have an Xbox controller, but you can also use PlayStation 3, I believe, 4, 5, and of course any Nintendo controllers like Switch Pro controller. And Switch Pro controller also allows you to have movement device like Wii. So now right here we have all these settings. The bottom setting, missing services, ignore missing services, is very important. I'm gonna demonstrate this right now. If we take this off, right, and leave this off, recently the newest Donkey Kong game that they released, if you don't have that checked, and let's see, we will load the game and check this out what happens. the emulator just simply closes. So you would not be able to play this game. Now if we go back to the options, go back to the settings, and hit ignore checkmark for missing services, hit apply. Now let's go back to the same game. There it is. Click on it. And voila, bingo, the game loads perfectly. And here it is, running in its full glory. It looks so crisp in 4K. I mean, Switch will not be able to run these type of graphics. The game gets enhanced quite a bit, especially if you have a beefy video card. So let's go back out into our menu here. Back to settings. And I have also expanded RAM dedicated since I have a very beefy video card. It doesn't really make any difference for me. Under this, I just have a host fast CPU. And I don't know why it was OpenGL, but usually I use Vulkan. And 4K, 2K to 4K resolution. And that's pretty much all the settings that I have right here. I keep this on auto, the multi-threading, which, I mean, I haven't noticed difference. And then there's also different anti-aliasing systems that you can pick. I usually keep it on Ultra since I have a 4080 Super. And that's about it. There's not really much to the settings at all. That's about it. Now, also this emulator can only read two type of files. If we look at the right, you see how some of the games say NSP, NSP, XCI, XCI, NSP. These are the only two formats that, basically the format of the game that this emulator can read. But there's another file called NSZ. An emulator will not be able to see this at all. Even if you have it in your game folder, it will not see this game. But there's a little tool called Switch Army Knife. I don't know if you'll be able to find this tool. I've got it a long time ago from a friend. What it basically does, it converts files back and forth between all of these different formats. And what we want to do is move NSZ to NSP file. Once it's converted, we'll be able to convert it to any other format that we want. We'll hit decompress, and it will tell you if the game is finished. If the game is not finished and it says failed, then that means your product keys are incorrectly installed. See how it says decompressed finished? If you guys find this app, extract it into some kind of a folder, and I'll show you how to work it in a second. So that would be, when the game is done decompressing, it will be in this apps folder. And then all you have to do is just copy it from here into your main directory where you keep all your games. And basically, boom, that's it. So this is how you upgrade your product keys for this app. You go to bin folder once you're done extracting it. And right here, you will have product keys and titles. And basically, those product keys that are listed in the description, you just copy and paste them here, and that will update all of the keys. And you'll be able to convert files back and forth however you want. Once it's in NSP format, you can turn it to XCI, to anything you want, and move files between all of these three formats. So now that it's been copied back into our directory, let's find this game, and there it is. It's not updated, see it's 1.10. You can also install DLCs by right clicking on the game. We want to install an update. We'll find the game folder. There it is. Main file will always be version 0, and update will be version something. So it's 1.01. And here it is. See how the game updated and the picture changed, the icon for the game? And then we click on it and it basically loads right in. This is just a remaster of an old Dreamcast game, I think. The majority of games, a lot of games that you'll come across will be in NSZ file, and they will not run on your emulator. You will have to convert it. And there it is, updated version of Soul Reaver, running in 4K. All the product keys, like I mentioned, and the emulator will be listed below in the description if you guys wanted to download it. Also, what's cool about the computer or playing the games on the computer, let's take a look at Zelda. Remember how the first update that they had, you could duplicate the items, but the second update, you could not duplicate the items? Well, in this, if you have both updates, you can actually select which update would you like to use. If you want the old one or a new one. So yeah, that's about it. Subscribe guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you later.